I saw not one, but 2 bald eagles in the matter of 2 days. Coincidence? Nope, I don't think so. I think it was the divine trying to speak to me loud and clear. But the real question is, can you hear? Would you be able to hear if the divine was trying to get a message to you? Or have your days just gotten so busy, too rushed, too noisy, and so disconnected that you wouldn't be able to hear? You wouldn't be able to tune into a message. I think when we're too busy just trying to get through our days, we stop receiving. We stop paying attention to the messages. We lose touch to the one voice that's been whispering to us all along, our soul. So maybe life has been really chaotic lately, heavy, confusing. Maybe you're just going through the motions and you're not really living, right? You keep looking outside yourself for clarity, for conviction, for your worth. I get that. I've done that. I've been there. But I've also learned that the answers are not outside ourselves. They're inside. We all have the ability to tune in and listen. But I think through time, we've forgotten about our relationship with our soul, or maybe you've never actually met your soul. I turn 59 this weekend, and so that means this weekend I step into my 60th year. And I've really been given a lot of thought as to what I want to do this year. I have been very successful in a lot of areas of my life, whether it was with my career, owning my own business, raising my family. But I still feel empty. I don't know if anybody else has felt that. So I really wanted to make an impact this year. And I have been going back and forth in my head with this whole relationship with my soul. And I'm like, should I start helping people? Should I start helping you to learn to invite your soul to the table, to meet them? And wasn't sure if I was ready for that. Wasn't sure if just that was the right decision. So, and I tell you this because it was just last Tuesday as I was driving into the neighborhood of our lake house, which it's relatively a quiet street, but down at the end of the street, and they're almost down at the end, was an eagle, literally just standing in the road. Sorry for TMI, but it was going after the roadkill that was there. And obviously you can tell it was an eagle, right? You know the distinctive marks. And I have never seen an eagle that close. Actually, I've only seen an eagle one other time while I was in a boat and with binoculars that was up in the tree. So as I approached, obviously in my car, the eagle takes off. And let me tell you, if you have never seen an eagle in real life, which I hadn't as far as up that close, it was magnificent. Oh my goodness. The wingspan was absolutely huge. I looked it up after the fact and it says the wingspan can be between 6 and 8 feet. I don't know if it was that. It was probably around 6 feet. And it just giant. So anyways, told my husband about it, thought it was just a really neat story, something I had never experienced. Didn't think much of it. Then 2 days later, I was back at home doing a bunch of errands, and I was in a parking lot trying to get out of the parking lot. And an eagle flew over my car. Had to be maybe 15 to 20 feet above my car. Crazy. I mean, I expect, eagles to be up near the lake. I don't necessarily expect them to be in my suburban area back at home. But there it was. So right then and there, I knew it wasn't a coincidence. I knew I had to pull over and try and figure out what the message was. I am going to read this because I don't want to misquote anything, but there's a lot of spiritualness around an eagle and the message that it is giving you. And it all depends what your circumstances are at the time that you saw it. But so just a couple of them. It's believed by seeing a bald eagle is a message sent by a higher power. It reminds you to embrace your authentic self. It's usually a positive sign, sent by the divine. Talks about stop getting in your own way with doubts and fears. But the thing that really struck me was this: bald eagles are a messenger of power that gets unleashed when you no longer try to be anyone but your own authentic self. Only you can share your unique talents. And I just thought that was such a clear message to tell me that what I was thinking about regarding what I should be sharing on my YouTube channel, that I was on the right path, that I should be sharing how to connect or reconnect with your soul. If you've seen any of my other videos, intertwined amongst all the stories, I've talked about the colorful past that I've gone through. I have certainly a lot of lived experience. Everything from a breast cancer diagnosis to 5 miscarriages to getting pregnant at the age of 15, having to give my daughter up for adoption, reconnecting later in life. Not only was I successful in my corporate career for 30 years, I also had a side business beyond that that made millions. The 13 years that I was in business, I did give that up a few years ago, and I also retired from corporate America. So I've just been through a lot. Not all good stuff, some good stuff, but it's through all those lived experiences that I have learned to tune in and listen to my soul. And the best way I could explain what your soul is, and I think if you're 40 or older, you will relate to this, but it's the part of you that never ages. It's the part of you that always has an answer if you sit quietly. You may confuse it with the ego. And as you tune in more and more and practice more and more listening to the soul, you'll be able to distinguish the difference. It's the one that's always quietly trying to lead you and guide you and nudge you. That is one thing that I've learned, is everybody's always looking for the answers outside themselves. And they're not. All the answers are in here. So let me ask you, when is the last time you've invited your soul to the table to have a conversation? Or have you ever? You know, I'm not talking about inviting your ego or your anxiety or your overthinking. I'm just talking about the calm part. So, as I enter my 60th year, I've really been thinking about what it can mean. Less hustle, less noise. But it's more than just myself, right? I want to reach through the camera and support all of you. I want there to be less hustle, less noise, more truth, more of an impact in life, more of my soul to take center stage. You know, I want to be able to help you connect with your soul. And I want you to stop outsourcing your worth. You know, I always end my conversations with, "You're enough just the way you are." And if you only knew the power that we all have within us, your days would be a little bit easier to get through. Now, I'm not saying that just by connecting with your soul, life is all of a sudden going to be really easy and you're not going to have struggles. That's not true. But what I can guarantee is it will be a bit more manageable, and it will be a bit more calm and hopeful. I think that's definitely one thing we are missing in life today, is hope. I look on TV, and when I watch some of the stories, or people wouldn't be acting the way they're acting if they had hope. And I think by connecting with your soul, that is definitely something that you will learn, is how to be more hopeful. So let me ask, when is the last time you've connected with your soul? When's the last time you've had a conversation with yourself? And I don't mean the ego. I don't mean the critic. I don't mean beating yourself up. But connecting with the part of you that knows you, right? That holds the wisdom inside of you. I've written many cards, obviously, through my life. And one of the things I like to write in, whether it's a 16-year-old birthday card, usually a graduation card, is to sit in silence and ask whatever question is weighing on them. And then listen for the answer. You will get it. We all have the wisdom inside ourselves. And sometimes I think what breaks it free is just when you've experienced more, lived more. And I think that's why the older you get, the wiser you are. And it's so true, whether it's from lessons that you've had to learn, failures that you've had to overcome. We all have that voice that's inside of us, right? And sometimes it's barely an audible whisper because of the noise that's around us. So I'm not saying you need to overhaul your life to reconnect. I think you just need a few quiet moments to start. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a series for you. And I'm hoping you'll tune into it. Each day, I will take you through different actions to help you reconnect, to help you hear that voice, to help you hear the messages, to give you hope. I think I said it in my last video. If you only knew how much power you really have, you would just look at life differently. And if you just knew that every obstacle, every hurdle that you go through, there's a reason behind it. There's some pretty sad things that have gone on, and I've been through quite a few of them myself, but I can honestly say that I have come out the other side a bit stronger than I've gone in. And I can always say that somewhere down the road, that experience I had to go through has helped me help somebody else. So until our next conversation, maybe if you could just start by going out for a walk, get quiet, even turn on some music that kind of helps drown out some of the conversation inside your head. If it's that critic, if it's that hopelessness voice that we have all encountered. And quietly ask the soul, what do you want me to know today? Just say hello. I also think I'm going to start doing some live episodes in the hopes to be able to answer questions that people might have. So stay tuned for that notification. I'll announce that once I have that aligned into my schedule. And if nothing else, I just want you to know that there are messages all around you. They're always trying to get your attention. You just need to be open. You need to be receptive. You need to be aware. And I can certainly teach you how to do that. I can teach you how to come home to yourself. Remember, you're enough just the way you are. You really are. And you are the hero of your own story. Invite your soul to be part of that story. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.